Danny's Amazing Day by Daniel Helvetius Jr. Danny hopped off the bus and thought to himself, "It's going to be an amazing day." As he walked down the hall, he looked up and noticed the principal, Miss Sparks, staring straight at him. Danny's eyes darted down as he walked by her. "Danny," Miss Sparks called sweetly, "are you forgetting something?"
"Why, yes, Miss Sparks. Good morning to you,"
Danny replied. "Well, good morning to you too, Danny, but that's not what I'm talking about. It appears you forgot to tie your shoes this morning." "Remember, safety first," Miss Sparks said with a smile on her face.
"Oh, these old things."
Danny bends over and grabs the laces, and as fast as he can tucks them neatly into his shoes and continues walking to class. "Danny," called Miss Sparks, a little perturbed, "I told you to tie those shoes."
"I don't have to tie my shoes. Why don't you just leave me alone?"
Danny replied. "Excuse me?" Miss Sparks said. "You're excused," Danny fired back and continued down the hall. "You come here right now, young man. We're going to see your teacher, Mr. Davis, this instant," Miss Sparks exclaimed. They walked down to the classroom together, and Miss Sparks told Mr. Davis about how rude Danny was acting. Mr. Davis thanked her and let her know that he would take care of him. Once in the classroom, Mr. Davis looked sternly at Danny and asked flatly, "What happened?" Danny explained to Mr. Davis that Miss Sparks asked him to tie his shoes. "So I tucked my laces into my shoes. She wouldn't stop hounding me," Danny cried. "Interesting. I believe I see what the problem is here. Do you know how to tie your shoes?" Mr. Davis asked with a questioning tone. "No," Danny said with anger in his voice. "That's okay. You're one of the brightest students in class, and I'm confident that you will learn how to tie your shoes by the end of the day," Mr. Davis said with a smoothness in his voice.
"You really think so?"
Danny said with a puzzled look on his face. "I know you can, Danny. Let me teach you how my mom taught me," Mr. Davis said. Mr. Davis knelt by Danny's shoes and began the instructions. "Two bunny rabbits went under a bridge. Then you make the rabbit ears, and they go back under the bridge. Boom! Shoes tied. Now you try," Mr. Davis said with excitement in his voice. Danny grabs the shoelaces from his untied shoe and starts to tie them.
"Two rabbits went over the tracks, then you make two bunny tails, and then back over the tracks, bam!" "Not! I'll never be able to tie my shoes,"
Danny cried. "Yes, you will," Mr. Davis said with confidence. "Practice makes permanence. You will see, just practice twice an hour, every hour for the rest of the day, and you will have it by the end of the day."
"That sounds like too much work,"
Danny said. "It will be, but you will have a skill that you can keep for life. Mr. Davis affirmed.
Okay, I'll try,
Danny replied. The day went on and Mr. Davis split the class up into groups to work on the class newspaper. Everyone had a part to do. Mr. Davis looked up and noticed Danny move away from his group. He strolled over to Danny's desk and the paper was empty.
Are you having trouble getting started, Danny?
Mr. Davis asked.
Danny looked sad.
I'm no good at reading and writing. This work is stupid,
Danny said begrudgingly as he slammed his fist on the desk. Mr. Davis took a knee, looked Danny straight in the eyes and told him,
I don't care who told you that you're not good enough in reading or writing. If you are better today than you were yesterday, you are moving forward, one step at a time.
Danny began to bawl.
They always told me that I'm stupid and I'm not going to be anything when I grow up.
Mr. Davis gave Danny a big hug and told him to give it his best effort and everything would be just fine.
Remember, practice makes permanence,
Mr. Davis confirmed.
I got an idea for the newspaper,
Danny said.
Let's hear it,
Mr. Davis commanded.
Can I make a comic strip called The Lunch Lady?
Danny asked.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Go back to the group and get to work,
Mr. Davis said. Lunch Lady comic strip. Student goes through the lunch line to get his lunch. He goes to the lunch lady to pay.
He looks down and sees a hair on his corn dog.
Dramatic zoom in on the corn dog.
The student looks up at the lunch lady and says,
Hey, there's a hair on my corn dog.
The lunch lady looks back and says,
That'll be extra.
At the end of the day, Danny yelled out,
Mr. Davis, can I show you something? Sure,
Mr. Davis replied.
2 bunny rabbits went under a bridge, then you make the rabbit ears, and then they go back under the bridge.
Boom! Shoes tied,
Danny screamed ecstatically.
I'm so proud of you, Danny. Do you think that we should go and show Miss Sparks your new skill? And maybe you can apologise for how you were acting this morning,
Mr. Davis said warmly.
I think that would be a great idea,
Danny said. Danny and Mr. Davis ran down to see Miss Sparks. Danny apologised to her and explained that he was upset because he did not know how to tie his shoes. He showed Miss Sparks how he learned to tie his shoes and thanked Mr. Davis for helping him. Miss Sparks gave Danny a bear hug and thanked him for clearly communicating.
Well, it's almost time to go home, so how about I take you to the bus?
Miss Sparks said.
That sounds great,
Danny said as he grabbed Miss Sparks' hand. Danny hopped on the
bus and knew he had an amazing day.
The end. We hope that you loved Danny's Amazing Day by Daniel Helvetius Jr. Buy the book and read along. Available on Amazon.